The Elixir of Life, also known as the Elixir of Immortality, is a potion that supposedly grants people eternal life and eternal youth, besides curing all diseases. The origin of this fabled elixir is debatable, whether it is from ancient India or ancient China, because it is mentioned in the Hindu scriptures under the name of Amrita, which is a holy drink that grants immortality to the drinker. And this drink was obtained due to the process of churning the ocean, where the devas asked the demons to help them in exchange of some of that elixir. And after an intense rope pulling game, using a giant serpent and a turtle with a mountain on its back, they managed to pull out many wonders from the ocean. And the final wonder was the emergence of Dhanvantari, the founder of the ancient medical system in India, while holding a jar filled with Amrita. But the devas obviously pranked the demons and took all the elixir to themselves. However, in ancient China, the belief in the elixir was far more prevalent, because it led the emperors to actively seek out the elixir, resulting of massive expeditions led by famous alchemists of that time, but with no results, and some of them never even came back. And so that belief shifted into the consumption of precious substances like jade, cinnabar, hematite, and most notably, gold. But alchemists kept trying other formulas using other materials, which led to an incident where the Jiajing emperor in the Ming dynasty consumed a lethal dose of mercury and died of poisoning while drinking a supposed elixir of life. The irony. And in Europe, the elixir of life took the form of the Philosopher's Stone, which is used heavily in fiction nowadays, which makes the list of characters that obtained the secrets of immortality are the Hindu devas, Indra, Vayan, and Agni, among other devas, Harry Potter in Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stones, the Elric brothers in Fullmetal Alchemists, and the Queen of England. The first appearance of the word vampire dates back to 1734, but the true origin of the belief in vampires comes from the 12th century, when people misunderstood the process of decomposing. Unaware that corpses decompose in different rates depending on factors such as temperature and soil composition, they mistook that the corpses that took too long to decompose as a sign of the continuation of life. And after that, stories broke out about vampires and their origins. Some suggested that they are people buried alive and had to feed on their own blood, and some went with the routes of a disease that turned people into vampires. But the most popular one is that they got their powers from bats, while in reality, bats were only discovered in the 16th century, and they were named after the folkloric vampires, and not the other way around, because the word bat means awareness of the powers of darkness and chaos. Vampires became extremely popular in the 18th century, when there was an Eastern European hysteria of suspected vampire sightings that led people and even government agents on quests that involved digging graves and staking the suspected corpses. And that was the inspiration of the infamous weak point of stabbing them with wood, among other weak points like decapitation, garlic, and sunlight, even though the moon is also reflecting sunlight. Guess they didn't think this one through. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the annual Necktie Championship, which is held in none other than Thailand. Our two contestants have made it to the final round, where they will throw as many ties as they can in a tire before the time's up. The one that throws more ties in the tire wins. On the right we have the one with the elegant red bow tie, Mr. Tyler Ty Tyson, who is a world-renowned tie manufacturer. And on the left, with the blue tie, we have Bob. He is very happy to be here. Now, it's been a long day for our two contestants, and for sure they are tired. But this is it, the final round to declare the winner of the championship, and the winner will win the golden tie prize. Alright, the contestants are ready, so get set Go! Wow, what a magnificent speed! I have no idea who is ahead anymore. Time is almost up. And time's up. Wow, that was incredibly tight and a close competition. Now the judges are counting the ties to declare the winner. And looks like the results are in. And, oh my god, I can't believe this. They actually ended up with Bob winning. The road that Apple has took to become the giant corporation it is today, it is nothing to scoff at. They revolutionized the industry more than once. Their first big success was the Macintosh, which was the first computer to use a window and a mouse system. They changed computers from being machines, where you put just boring numbers and phrases in it, into a simple-to-use machine that a child can handle. And of course, we can't forget they were also the first to revolutionize the phones, by making them smartphones with touchscreen. People before used to press buttons to use their phones, but the iPhone changed that forever. But of course, they couldn't have been able to do this if they weren't caring about their customers. So alongside their amazing products, they also cared about the service and the pricing of these products. Because the prices they used were very affordable and customer friendly. But all that died with Steve Jobs. May he rest in peace. Apple then. We revolutionize the industry and have affordable prices. Apple now. Buy my $700 wheels. Whee! And my expensive emoji machine.
The hazardous materials suit, or a hazmat suit, it is a protective suit that covers the body, the hands, the eyes, feet, and respiratory system. Since it usually contains a self-contained breathing apparatus, these suits have different versions, depending on how much protective the suit is. For example, in the US and Brazil, there are 4 levels, and they are classified as A, B, C, and D, A being the most protective, used in most extreme cases of chemical damage, and D being the least protective, which is used by everyday workers that require protection. While in Europe there are 6 different types of suits, these suits protect from toxic materials, such as chemical materials, nuclear materials, biological materials, and high temperature, and most importantly, the toxicity of TikTok. Laughing is one of the most common emotions that humans express on a daily basis. It is commonly believed that it is a social gesture, much like language, even that it transcends all languages. Researchers believe that its purpose is to strengthen the bonds between potential mates, much like animals when they perform mating dances and songs to their partners. Speaking of animals, apes and even rats have been recorded doing some form of laughter. Also, laughter has lots of great health benefits. While mentally, it helps to block stress hormones. That's why we laugh at stressful situations to deflect some of that stress, and physically it helps increasing the LT and LB cells to fend against diseases. However, there are some situations where it is nearly impossible to laugh, like when you are faced with a tragedy, or depression, or when you are watching a Lily Pons video. Vitamins are important, and the lack of any of them would lead to some serious health ramifications. For example, the lack of vitamin A could lead to problems like liver disorders, or fat malabsorption, and the lack of vitamin B leads to fatigue and confusion, and even anemia. The absence of vitamin C causes scurvy, and exhaustion, spontaneous bleeding. Finally, the lack of vitamin D weakens the immune system, and cause a disease called rickets, which soften the bones. So, if you have liver disorders, anemia, and rickets, that means you are lacking vitamins B, A, and D, and that's bad. You should see a doctor about that. These are some facts about Uranus. The planet. I am talking about the planet. Uranus moons are named after Shakespearean characters, which are Oberon, Titania, and Miranda. Uranus' diameter is around 3,100 miles. which means you can fit 63 Earths inside your anus. Its atmosphere is made of ammonia and the methane ice crystals that give the planet its pale blue color. It also has water, so yes, your anus is wet.